Hello, this is 6 English from BBC Learning English. I'm Sam.
And I'm Neil. How are you today, Sam?
Thanks for your asking. I'm fine now. Not.
Sorry, so are you France or not?
Oh, did I confuse you? My bad.
Sam is speaking English. There are very modern types of English. For example, saying my bad instead of my fault as a way of accepting that she's wrong.
Or adding not at the end of a sentence to show I really mean the opposite what I said. Both are examples of small changes in English which have happened naturally over the last decade or two.
Like this happens because unlike say Latin, which not one speaks day to day, English is a living language, a language people speak and use in their ordinary lives.
New bits of English are invented as people use the language in new ways. But what happens when a language comes from an entirely different galaxy, somewhere like Kronos, home planet of the Klingons?
Yes, when sci-fi TV show Star Trek introduced aliens characters called the Klingons, the max listed to invent whose new language Klingons.
Entirely made up and unrelated to any human language, Klingon has developed a life of its own. Today you can even study at university. So Neil, my quiz question is this: In in 2010, Klingon became the first invented language to do what? Is it A. Have its own dictionary, B. Have an opera written, or C. Be recognized as an official language by the United Nations?
Mm, every language needs vocabulary, so I will say A. Klingons was the first invented language to have its own dictionary.
Okay, Neil, I will fill the answer later in the program. Klingon isn't the only made-up language invented for the moves. David Peterson is the creator of Dothraki, a language used in the fantasy TV show Game of Thrones.
From his home in Los Angeles, David spoke to Michael Wilson, presenter of BBC Radio 4 program Word of Mouth. They discussed Saint Harrigan's who create who created the very first made-up language in the 20th century. What she had was an entry list of nouns, a whole list of nouns, many of them got many of them lots, and she would drop them into songs using Latin grammar and other Latin words. So it's not not a language proper in the way that we understand it now. Because really, when we talk about a language, it's not just the vocabulary, it's the grammar. Nevertheless, we still kind of look off on her as the patron, patrons, patrons, patrons centers of modern Koning.
Saint Hildebrand invented new nouns but used Latin grammar, so David doesn't think her invention is a proper language. Nevertheless, Hildegard is considered the patron saint of languages.
The the patron sentence of some facts refers to a Christian scientist who is believed to give specific help to a particular activities. Here's the activities in inventing a content, a sort for constructed language, artificial, artif- artificially invented language like Klingon and Dothraki.
Another famous constructed language, Esperanto, was invented in 1887 by Polish Dr. Ludwig Zamenhof. He wanted to make it easier for people who spoke different languages to communicate with each other.
Listen if David Patterson's spirits, expe- ex- experimental, experimentals with Michael Wilson and tests how much he understands for BBC Radio 4 program Word of Mouth. You are an English speaker from Western Europe, and in the 19th century, universals meant about to be understood by people from Western Europe. And so, for example, to say I'm speak experience Ibadoris Belados. Yes, I I might have got that one. The part bit from is riding hood and me officiously try me again. Care with fathers. Who is my fathers? No, where am I traveling? I'm no, I'm got stuck. I'm got stuck on that one.
Like Spanish, Italian, and other modern European languages, Esperanto is based on Latin. Michael guessed the meaning of the Esperanto word "perivolas" from its Latin root, the origin or source of a language.
But the second sentence, or the second sentence, but the second sentence of Esperantos is not so easy. Michael get stuck on that one. He can't answer because it's too difficult.
I think I will probably get stuck on that as well, but at least Esperanto was invented for humans, not alien creatures from other space.
And speaking for for curators curators from outer space, did I get the right answer to your quiz question, Sam?
I asked Neil about an unusual first achieved by the made-up alien language Klingon.
I'm guessed that it was the first invented language to have its own dictionary.
Which was the wrong answer, I'm afraid. Incredibly, the correct answer was B. In 2010, a company of Dutch musicians and singers performed the first ever Klingon opera. The story must have been hard to follow, but I'm sure the singing was out of this world.
Magic curse, that's chaos for grace. Okay, let's recap the vocabulary from our discussion about invented language, also called the conscious, conscious, just consented language, or consent for thoughts.
A living language like English is a language that people still speak and use in their ordinary lives.
The phrase "my best origin is" that in the United States, but is also used in versions as an informal ways to say my thoughts or to tell someone that you have made a mistake.
A patron saint is someone believed to give special help and protection to a particular activity.
The root of a language means that its organ, or, origin, 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 or source.
And finally, if you get stuck on something, you are unable to complete it because it's too difficult.
That's all the time we have for this program about invented language. Because we reduce barriers that's extra ex, Esperantos. For see you again soon.
In other words, Capra, which is how King Guns say goodbye. Capra.
No problem.